Let's look at these questions on finding the sum and difference of fractions. So the first question is, what is the sum of negative 3 and 3 over 8 plus 2 and 1 over 6? Write your sum as a mixed fraction. So when we're working with fractions, it would be easier if the fractions are given as a mixed fraction to convert it to an improper fraction and then work with the fractions. Let's do that. Let's write the question down. Negative 3 over 8 and 2 and 1 over 6. So I'm going to make these into improper fractions. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27 over 8. So that's going to be negative. And I have 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13 over 6. So these are the two fractions that I have to find the sum of or add. So to do that, I need to find a common denominator, which is I have to find the least common denominator. To find the least common denominator, in other words, I'm finding the least common multiple of 8 and 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the least common multiple. Let me write the multiples of 8 so that I can find the least common multiple of 8 and 6. So that would be 8, 16, 24, 32, and I'm going to stop there, and it's going to go on. Let's look at the multiples of 6. So that's going to be 6, 12, 18, and 24. I'm going to stop there because I've already found the common denominator or the common multiple, which is going to be 24. So that's what I'll be using for the fraction. So it's going to be 24. Now I have what I need to do is I need to change the denominator as 24, both the denominators as 24. So let's do that. So negative 27 over 8, and I have to make that into 24. So I need to figure out what I'm going to be multiplying that by, and 13 over 6. So now I'm going to change the 84 so that it becomes 24. So I have to multiply by 3. I have to do the same thing for the numerator. I cannot just make a change in the denominator. So I have to make the same changes in the numerator and the denominator. To make a 6 into 24, I'm going to multiply that by 4. Do the same thing for the numerator so that I'm not changing the fraction. So the answer would be, for the first fraction, it's going to be negative 81, and the denominator is 24, and the second fraction would be 52 over the denominator is 24, and because that's what we wanted a common denominator. Now we can add the two numerators because we had the same denominator. So now I can put 24 here as the common denominator and add these two. So I have negative 81 plus 52. So that's going to give me negative 29 over 24. But that's not the final answer because we're asked to write the sum as a mixed fraction. So if I have to write this as a mixed fraction, I'm going to have to divide 29 by 24, which is 1. And I'm left with 5. So that's going to be 24, 5 over 24. So that's going to be a negative number. So it's 1 and 5 over 24. So 24 times 1 is 24. Plus 5 is 29 over 24. Great. Let's move on to the next question. What is the difference of 3 and 7 over 9 and negative 2 and 11 over 15? Write your difference as a mixed fraction. So we're going to use the same strategy that we used in the first question. So we're going to find, convert the fractions into improper fractions, and then try to find the least common denominator. So let's write the question down. Negative 2, 11 over 15. So if I have two negatives, that's going to become positive. So I'm going to write that here. Positive 2, 11 over 15. Now I'm going to change this into improper fractions. And that's 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 7 is 34 over 9. And I have 15 times 2, 30. 30 plus 11 is 41 over 15. Now I have 9 and 15. So these are the two numbers that I have in the denominator. So I need to find the least common multiple or the least common denominator for 9 and 15. So let's do the multiples of 9 and 15. So that's 9, 18, 27, 36, and 45. I'm going to stop there because I know that I'm going to get 45 and 15 too. So let's do that. 15, 30, 45. So 45 would be the least common multiple for 9 and 15. So what I have to do is I have to multiply both. I have to make the denominator 45. So what I'm going to do is let's write the fractions and make the denominator 45. So what I have to do with 9 to make it 45 is to multiply by 5. So I cannot just multiply 9. I have to multiply the numerator as well. So that's going to be 34 times 5. And here, to make it 45, I have to multiply by 3. Let's do that. So that's going to give me 2170 over 45. And that's going to give me 123 over 45. Now I have the common denominator, so I'm going to use that, and the numerators are going to be added. Let's do that. So that's going to be 293 over 45. But again, we are asked to write this answer give the answer as a mixed fraction, so we're going to do that. And the answer would be, so 45 would go 6 times, and we have 23 left, 45. So that would be the answer. So 45 times 6 plus 23 would give me 293, and the denominator is 45.